Black History Month is a time when African Americans, and actually all Americans, should take a pause and reflect on our country's history. In order to grow, we must understand from where we have come. Our country's history is initially that of oppression, slavery, and racial injustice. But the good news is we have come a long way. Black History Month is a time of rejoicing, celebrating, and thanking those African Americans, Frederick Douglass, Dr. King, Malcolm, Medgar, Rosa Parks, and President Obama, and countless other Americans for giving us hope and the opportunities that we now have. It's a time we should be reminded about what it means to be African American and to push as hard as possible to do well in school and industry and to achieve heights heretofore unseen. Black History Month is a time of reflection for me and appreciation, and recognizing that we have come a long way and acknowledging that our future is unlimited and understanding that our future is solely up to us. It's about growth, opportunity, and appreciation.
When I think of Black history, I think of the 1965 Voting Rights Act signed into law by President Lyndon Johnson. This broke barriers and provided and gave blacks the opportunity to vote. Many individuals, regardless of race, creed, and color, sacrificed and died for us and for all of us to have the right to vote. We must learn to live together as brothers or perish together as fools. We must develop and maintain the capacity to forgive. He who is devoid of the power to forgive is devoid of the power to love. There is some good in the worst of us, and there is some evil in the best of us. When we discover this, we are less prone to hate our enemies. These are the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And today, we must live by those words in order to make the world a better place.
We're celebrating Black History Month. And it's very important here at the port that we do this because we are so diverse, made up of so many fine people. The fact of the matter is that we're just not a cutting the wood, dried up old port. We're kind of exciting. Because of our diversity, we have created SkyPass, which is the road over the bridge. Before I came, before we did these things, you couldn't even get over the port. You had to drive through it. It was terrible. And that's one of the proudest achievements that we've done and that I've been a part of. Diversity is not about how we differ. Diversity is about embracing one another's uniqueness.
Black history means to me, never underestimate the power of dreams and the influence of human spirit. We are all the same in this notion. The potential for greatness lives within each of us.
Black history to me is a time of reflection. It's actually a time where I think back on all of the past struggles that my ancestors have went through in order for me to achieve and be where I am today. It's an opportunity for me to be able to reach the goals that I want to reach. It's an opportunity for me to be able to teach my children that there's no obstacles in their way today because of what our ancestors have done for us in the past. They have given up their lives, they have lost their lives, and the struggles that they went through to put us where we are today, we have to be grateful and we have to respect what they have done. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that.
To me, celebrating Black history serves as a means to right the wrongs that slavery-era African Americans had to endure. By acknowledging African Americans have made very important inroads and achievements in America helps to dilute the disturbing and deadly acts of racism that were part of everyday life in the slavery days of America. It's truly remarkable to fast forward from the days of the master to a day when the African American is the President of the United States, the highest office in the best country on the planet. Where there's no vision, there's no hope.
Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide, leaving behind nights of terror and fear. I rise into a daybreak that's wondrously clear. I rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I will rise, by Maya Angelou.
I did some history and I looked up Rosa Parks and I thought it was amazing just reading about her. Harriet Tubman was another person who took the time through her courage and perseverance to free slaves. I did some history on Malcolm X and of course Dr. Martin Luther King, who said, "I have a dream," which has inspired this country as a whole. We can't talk about history without even touching the present. I think of Jesse Owens, who was the first black man to win 4 Olympic medals in his time. I think about even Tiger Woods, who won first black male to win the Masters. And of course, our country has been ever so changing. And of course, the greatest accomplishment, I think, in my opinion, is our first black president, President Barack Obama, which speaks to our country and it speaks about how we've changed and evolved. And I think it's amazing. And black history in general brings me to that reflection. You should never be fearful if what you're doing is right.